The Revenue Review Committee reviewed both revenue and expenses and identified two options of additional or increased revenue. The first option was looking at municipal fees and the business and operation tax, often called B&O. Fees are a tool used by many municipalities to seek revenue to fund operations, such as fire, police, stormwater, building, and streets fees. Municipalities also rely on property, B&O, hotel, and motel sales taxes. Three municipal fees will be discussed: the stormwater fee, police fee, and fire fee. With a stormwater fee, we roughly expect we could collect $150,000 annually if this were implemented. It would be paid on both city and some county residents and businesses in the watershed. Approximately 1/3 of Buckhannon is in the floodplain. The annual cost would be about $100 annually per household in the watershed area. The stormwater fee is assessed by watershed, not by municipal limits. Adding a first due fire fee. We would bill residents and businesses outside the city limits within about a 2 to 5 mile radius. The fire department identified 5,700 structures in the first due area, of which 2,400 are in the city limits and already paying a fee. It is estimated we would receive another $150,000 per year if we leave the rates the same, but this would affect the county fire fee. We cannot charge county residents any more than 1.5% of what city residents pay. City residents pay $36 per household. Fire Chief J.B. Kimball expanded on the need, what the county fire fee might increase. Police fee. Increasing police fees. We currently receive about $75,000 a year for this from city residents and businesses. The last police fee increase was from 1983. If we double it, we would receive another $75,000 annually. Residents would pay $36 per year per household. We also looked at various adjustments to the B&O retail structure. There is currently a $1 million exemption on the retail and manufacturing B&O. This was originally put in place to help small businesses from paying B&O tax. If the $1 million exemption were dropped and the tiered fee were changed to the maximum of 0.50, we would collect $494,000 additional B&O fees. If all the mentioned fees were changed, we would gain an additional revenue of $869,000 annually. The committee members were all in consensus that placing the majority of the burden on the residents and businesses in the city limits was not a good solution. The additional fees would mount up to about $150 per household, and we know removing the exemption from B&O would hurt small businesses. Also, by implementing fees, that would place more responsibility on City Hall staff for billing and collecting. Therefore, another City Hall office person would be needed to help with these additional tasks. The second option that the committee looked at was a sales tax. If a sales tax were implemented, there would be no need for additional municipal fees being added to city residents and businesses. We estimate that we would collect about $1 million annually for a 1% sales tax. Basically, anything in which the state sales tax is charged, a municipal sales tax would apply. Currently, 43 municipalities in the state of West Virginia are collecting this tax. Nearby are Bridgeport, Clarksburg, Elkins, Fairmont, Grafton, and Weston. If a sales tax were implemented, we would be able to reduce the B&O tax amount. A long list of sales and purchases are exempt from a sales tax, including municipal sales tax. Groceries, vehicle fuel, vehicle sales, prescriptions, personal and professional services are just a few that are exempt from sales tax. The full list can be found at the link below. A sales tax is collected at the time of sale by the merchant and remitted at the same time the West Virginia sales tax is paid. The State of West Virginia Tax Department collects the tax and remits the portion back to the municipalities quarterly. The committee feels this is a much fairer way of spreading the responsibility to fund the expenses. Everyone that makes a taxable purchase in the city limits would pay 1 cent on every dollar of the taxable purchase. Any time that someone enters the city limits, it is an exposure to city services. The police and fire departments are answering incidents that for the majority involve persons that live out of city limits. 70% of youth served at Stockert Youth Community Center are not city residents. 80% of park reservations are not from city residents. We could go on with the walking trails, dog park, festival Fridays, fireworks, and even the Strawberry Festival. And we absolutely love it. We are so happy that citizens are finding a quality of life in what we do in Buckhannon. We want everyone that steps foot in the city of Buckhannon to feel welcome, and for the residents that live here to feel safe and have quality service from our departments. But it does cost money, and we are only asking that everyone share the cost, not just the residents in the city and not just the businesses in the city. At this time, I'll turn to the committee members to make comments and open the floor up for comments and questions from members of the public. At this time during the presentation, councilors and committee members Cj Rylands, Dave Thomas, and Mayor McCauley provided additional comments supporting the committee's decision to present the 1% sales tax to City Council with hopes of implementation in the next year to 2 years. Much of this depends on the timetable set by the Home Rule Board and West Virginia State Tax Department. The committee then asked for comments from members of the public in attendance. 5 spoke out in favor or neutral of the proposition, with 1 opposed. 20 attendees signed the attendance sheet upon arrival. This concludes the online presentation of the Buckhannon City Council Revenue Review Committee Town Hall meeting from September 4th, 2018. Additional information about the proposal can be found on the City of Buckhannon website or by contacting City Hall. Additional information about Home Rule and 1% local sales taxes can be found on the West Virginia State Sales Tax Department website. Thank you for listening.